Blessed day, beloved, blessed day. Blessed day to everyone, blessed week. May peace be upon you, may the divine grace be upon you. Wherever you are following me, you are watching this teaching, may the grace of your ancestor be upon you. May the grace of your forefather shine upon you. May the grace and the blessings of the Creator be upon you. May the peace of the Archangel dwell upon you. The wisdom of the Ascended Master be within you. As you are watching me today, I'm blessing you. Happy to see you again. This is Monday the 19th. We are back. We are here present to share our knowledge. Beloved, today, I want us to, in our teaching, to learn about the causes of your current problems. You might be experiencing a lot of things. You might be asking yourself questions. What really transpired? What took place? What truly go wrong in your life? I want us to go in 10 points, of which we are going to discuss. We are going to share the knowledge. You might be experiencing darkness in your life. You might be experiencing difficult challenges, problems that you cannot solve. Maybe you've been seeking for help, you don't get solutions. Let us look at your life. Let us see in the 10 points that I'm going to discuss with you today, if you'll be able to pick up what might be the cause. So don't forget to subscribe if you never subscribed, to like, and to share our video. Today, our first point is going to be the free spiritual readings. You always see marketing, free horoscope, free this, free online reading, and you like to send your details too much to those people. You like to send your details to things that you don't pay for, but you need to get help and services. You are not knowing that. It depends on which healer or psychic or medium or sangoma which you are going to. Some, they're going to take your details and use it for their benefit. You are surprised, yes. You can ask yourself questions. Since you have conducted those free readings, how is your life? Since you've been seeking for those free help, how far if you succeed? With free reading, what is happening? Normally, even when I say I'm giving a free reading, when you come, in most cases, I give you the guidance on what to do, and I also request you to subscribe to the channel. Basically, you also do something. Because if you want a free reading, unless you are my client, I'm working already on your profile, I can conduct a review, I can conduct a reading for you. But if you're not my client, you are expecting me to invest my money, to build my altar, to make my time, to buy the ingredient, to do the ritual, to look into your life, and I'm getting nothing. Be realistic. Some of the free reading that you've been going through, which you've been writing, sending email, getting horoscope, sharing your date of birth, sharing your pictures, and you know that you never follow up, those readings might be the cause of some of your blockage. You need to look at that. I'm not saying it is the cause or it's not the cause. It might be one of the cause depending on a specific situation. I hope you are getting me well there. So, if you ask me, Master, what shall I do? I'm going to advise you, avoid this free reading, checking your hand, checking this. These people, they come prepared. You are prepared. They are coming to you, they are prepared, but you are unprepared. You meet people in the CBD. You meet people in the mall. They put you something, then they come, no, let's do this. Some of you, as you're watching me, they've stolen money, they've stolen a phone, they've stolen things on your back. Some of you don't even know how your money disappeared. Some of you, since you encounter this kind of people who are busy telling you about the problems which they don't provide you the solutions, your life has changed. Your life is no longer the same. So I want you to pay attention. Do not allow just anybody without your consent, without you understanding who this person are, to conduct a spiritual reading. And each person who's coming and give you a spiritual reading, and they do not provide you with solution to come out of those problems that they have identified with the reading, then it's pointless. What is the point of me coming in to tell you, you go to that cloud, but I don't provide you the way out of that cloud? What is the point? Let us be factual. Let us be realistic. So our first point is, some of the spiritual readings that you might go through, you have submitted your names, your pictures, your details, your date of birth. And if you happen to come across those we call spiritual wolf, they might be spiritualists, they might be healers, they might be sangomas, but their main purpose is to extract, to take from their client, to take from the innocent people. They might realize that your star is shining, and they use it for their benefit. So you go and realize that since you've been doing these things, nothing is changing. You keep on going down, keeping on going down. You are losing money to the point that you become even unable to feed yourself. You become even unable to cover the cost of your spiritual work, and they abandon you. They give you their back. So be careful on free spiritual readings and free spiritual services. There's always a price to pay for everything. It's very, very important that you understand this. We are going to our second point, which is the ignorance of your spirituality. Who are you? You've been living your life and thinking life is the way you watch it on TV or read it in the book. But the honest truth is, people do not write in the book what they do in their bedroom. How many books have you read? How many authors, when they are talking about their private life, their wives, how many times they are explaining how they are making sex or making love with their wives and giving you the details? They don't. They don't explain to you what they are eating daily. What is their daily routine in their home? They give you the idea, the image, which they want you to get from them. So now, if you start taking those images and fit it in a really daily life, you're going to go wrong. You are ignoring your spirituality, or you've been ignoring your spirituality for so long that you are finding yourself today in this situation. Yes, you are finding yourself in this debt, without job, with divorce, with stress. You have lost your loved one, you have lost your money, you have failed to finish your studies, you have failed in your career, you have failed in your business. You don't get promoted, you are not married, you don't have children, because you are ignoring your old spirituality. You are not making any effort to go further in your spirituality. You don't even know who you are spiritually. Yes, we say we are spiritual being having a human experience. That is for the general. But the awakened one, the enlightened one, they know that they are spiritual agents with a spiritual mission from the Creator. So, what is your purpose? What is your mission? What is your mission? Tell me. Do you know who are you spiritually? So those are the points that are causing you to fail, because if you don't know who you are, how are you going to utilize the power in you? You got the power to overcome all is going around you within you, but you are unable to solve that because you don't know who you are. You can observe that the things where you remove your fear, they go well. Once you know who you are, you'll not be afraid, because you're going to know exactly what you are capable of doing. And people, they might think it's arrogance, you are boasting, you are full of yourself. But the truth is, if you know who you are confident. Regardless of what society is saying, how people are looking at you, how society is judging you, you are confident, you are still, you remain focused on your goals and target because you are surely aware of who you truly are. So now I want us to think. Do we know who we are? How do you know who you are? We're going to come to the point. I'm giving you first the main point. And I'm going to expect you, feel free to comment with your questions so that I'm able to come back and shed more light. This is the conversation with the spiritualist master. I'm going to be having other people on Zoom having the engagement with me, asking questions which I'm going to answer. Now I'm giving you the main point, you are on the second point. And our third point, which is the disconnection with your ancestor. You are facing this kind of situation that you could have avoided all along if you were in connection with your spiritual forefathers, who are your ancestors. You like to grow up like in the city. As you always say, we are in the city. You know me, I didn't grow up in the rural area. I don't know this about the village. And most kids that are born in the city now, you got the attitude, those are witches, especially if they are father's family. Hey, they are witches. You understand? Hey, the mother family, they are witches. We are not there. We are here. Watch me. You are facing this situation that you are going through today. You are experiencing the situation that you are going through today only and only because you are ignoring who you are and you are not in connection with your forefathers. The ancestor that you are saying, no, let the dead be dead. No, they are dead, they can't do anything. You are using a human mind to look into spiritual situation, which is absurdity. When you know what I know, you're going to realize that that is completely ignorance. So you need to restore the connection of your ancestors. You need to reconnect. To reconnect with your ancestor doesn't need you to go and do a lot of ceremony. They are part of you, they are within you because you are the temple of your ancestor. It doesn't need you to go and slaughter a cow. Maybe you've been misled and taken to go and slaughter a cow because your ancestors are angry. That is another topic I'm going to teach you. I always refuse. People are coming and try to convince me that they are punished by their ancestors. I'll always refuse it. I'm telling you. Why I've got my point. That's why I'm going to have an open, and so that we can have a time to engage and share idea and knowledge. So you need to reconcile with your ancestors by calling them, talking to them the way I'm talking to you, the always talking to your parents. Show them respect. Build a small attire room. You wardrobe a corner outside at the back of the room, depending on the space that you have. With your ancestor, you can pour anything that they like. It can be a juice, it can be a small beer, a whiskey, whatever. What you want to enjoy with them, a cup of tea. You can sit and talk to your ancestors. Engage with them. Ask them to reconnect with you so that your body becomes their temple, so that they are able to come and assist you and guide you and provide you with guidance. Do not have the perception of your ancestor in their human forms. They are spiritual beings. This envelope that you are seeing today, if I go back to the spiritual world, you can have the human idea that I look like this, but I'm a spiritual being with another look, another me in a spiritual world. So connect with your ancestor because they are most connected to you better than anyone else. Connect with your ancestor because they don't pose condition. They don't give you conditions in order for you to reconcile with them. If you go, somebody starts giving you excuses why you need to do this and that for your ancestor is a deception. Your ancestor, they are like a parent. You can wrong the parent, you come and apologize. As long as you humble yourself, your parents, they won't ask you to pay them a fine in order for them to forgive you. So why do your ancestors need to do that? Because you're in the same lineage with them. So it's very important that you understand that the main causes of your problem can be at this level. One, the free spiritual readings and service that you were looking for most of the time. Maybe as I'm talking to you, you are owing a Sangoma, you are owing a Nyanga, you are owing a Ila, you are owing your pastor, you are owing your prophet, you are owing your apostle. The second point is the fact that you are ignoring who you are spiritually. Your spirituality, you are ignoring it. And the third point is your reconnection with your ancestors. It's very important in whatever you do that to be grounded. Sometimes when we see we are entering a temple or when we build an altar, before we start our ritual, we remove our shoes. The intention and the message behind that is to connect with the ground, Mother Earth. And the Mother Earth is where we supposedly, our ancestor body, went to rest, and their soul went to rest, their spirit is with us. So it's very important that you do not neglect the ancestor. Look at the point that I'm making and identify. Do not worry. Feel free to send me questions. Ask questions on the comments. I'll appreciate that, and I'm going to come back and provide clear answers. Then we go to neglecting dreams, message, prophetic revelation toward you. You can agree with me that there was a time in your life where you were dreaming about things. When you were receiving messages, you were seeing visions. You were dreaming about things that are materializing. Maybe you still do experiencing it up to now. You can think you are dreaming or sleeping. You are not dreaming. You are having visions of things that are happening and are materializing. So if you are ignoring those messages, if you don't want to go deeper in those messages, in the future when trouble comes, who to blame? Yes, I'm asking you a question. You receive a message through dreams, through visions, or maybe you've been told by a prophet, by a Sangoma, by a pastor, by an apostle, by a healer, by a imam, a spiritual leader have guided you, a guru. You are ignoring. You were ignoring all this because things were going according to your plan. You think you are building your life on a rock foundation, where you're building a beautiful home on a sand foundation. Now that you find yourself in this trouble, you are seeing the point now. You've been informed. There is no way the spirit can reprimand you without owning you first. I'm a spiritualist master. I know what I'm talking about. There is no way you'll be victim of a spiritual punishment without being owned before. You were just so stubborn to neglect the message. You were just so stubborn to believe in the message. You were just so arrogant to humble yourself in front of the spiritual power, and you think you can overcome them with the limited human knowledge that you are having. That's why you are today in this situation. Are you with me? Our fifth point is the fear. The fear of embracing your gift, your calling. Maybe at this moment that you are watching me, maybe at this particular time that I'm teaching you and sharing with you this knowledge, you've been told you've got a calling. Maybe you have already accepted your gift. Maybe you have already gone through the initiation. But now you are afraid to go further. You are afraid to experience and to take your calling and your mission. Remember, I told you we are spiritual agents sent by the Creator with specific missions. Our missions are not authentic. You got your own as you're watching me. Even if you are 5 where you are sitting, 3 where you are sitting, or 2, each and one of you got their own mission. Our mission are not identical. The Creator is not limited like human to say is short of creativity. Some are gifted to assist nature, to defend nature. some to defend other human beings, some to advise, to teach, some to heal, some to bless, some to protect. We got different gifts. So now, when you are afraid to unlock that door that's going to take you to another dimension spiritually, that door that's going to unlock everything that's blocking your life, how do you want your life to change? How do you want the situation to change? It's something that I want you to understand today. As long as, regardless that you went to Twice-Side, as long as you went to initiation, you were baptized to do this, as long as you are afraid to, sorry, as long as you are afraid to unlock that door, to open that locked door, and enter that unknown room, and experience first the reality that you want to face there is on your mission, you'll never go nowhere. If you enter that room on your mission purpose, you'll come out of it as a winner. Because it's in there when you're going to discover what you are lacking now. It's there when you're going to unlock what is locked now. So if you're watching me now, if you're watching this teaching, and you identify yourself as somebody with a spiritual calling and a gift, and you've been going through initiation and guidance, it's about time you take a step to unlock that door. Take the risk. It's part of your mission. Some people who are not part of it, they can go there, they won't come back. They're going to be made. They may not be blocked because they're going to violate a territory that is not theirs. But for you, you know very well, as you are listening to me now, you are convinced deep in your heart that you need to unlock that door in order for the light to shine upon you. Unlock it, allow the sunlight to shine. Unlock it, allow the light to shine upon you. Can you do that? That will be the beginning of solving your own problems. I want us to be having this conversation. I want us to be opening up to this type of conversation where we are sharing. Those of you who are welcome to request that we can have a Zoom that will be also online. You can ask your direct questions relating to situation that you experience on a spiritual level, and I'll be able to provide you with guidance, advice, and answers, depending on how the Spirit is going to guide me in each individual situations. So I believe you are with me and you are understanding. We are still progressing, and you have, on a 6 point, to talk about unfinished spiritual work. My beloved, as you are watching me now, ask yourself, to how many pastors have you gone, explain your problem, request for prayer, going to fasting and praying? How many? How many prophets have you consulted over your matter? How many sangomas have you consulted over your matter? How many have started working and you stop the job, you don't finish with them? Some because you don't trust them, some because they are so greedy, they're asking for more money, some because there's disconnection, some because you change your mind, some because many various reasons. But believe me, that unfinished work is yours. It's not theirs. An unfinished work meaning you go to an hospital, you open a medical file. You are taking a treatment, you stop your treatment, you go. What are you expecting after that? If you are prescribed remedies, which you are not taking, what are you expecting to happen? That is what I say, unfinished spiritual work. You might be here, you have deceived your pastors. Some they've done work for you. You go, you are request for prayers. I've got some apostles and pastors and prophets, even sangomas and healers who are going to explain to me, Master, I'm going to work for somebody. I'm going to pray for them. They go, things work, then they change. They just come and testify that they change the church. They change the people, they don't longer come to me. These people, they're going to promise me this, they don't do. These people that you've been promising all your life, these people that you're thinking you are praying with them, don't you know that they are anointed spiritually? They might be going through their own challenges as well, based on their purpose. That does not give you the right to take advantage of them. Because they are spiritual beings, they are religious leaders, spiritual leaders, does not allow you to take advantage because you know they won't come to your house and ask for that money. It said the promise is a debt. You promise somebody, pay them. You promise someone, pay them. The tongue is a small part of your body, but it can ruin the whole body. The promise that you are making through this tongue will hold you accountable. So if you had these type of situations, you must know this might be the cause of your problems. This might be the cause of your blockage. You want to look for marriage. They start doing work for you. You find a guy, you forget about the person who was praying for you. The person who was doing ritual for you. The person who helped for you. You go into that marriage, you think you're going to stay in that marriage, you're going to divorce. Because that particular person, they are regretting. You think you're going to have joy and peace in that marriage, you will never have. You are unemployed, you go, they pray for you, you go for interview, you get the job. Since you are getting salary, you forget the road to the church. Since you are getting salary, you forget the road to your Sangoma, to your Ina. Since you get that salary, you forget even the road to your own ancestors. You don't even thank your own ancestors. You are so ungrateful to not even say thank you to your own ancestors. And you want to be successful. You want peace. You want joy. No. No. They are not punishing you, but they allow you to be. You say they are useless. That's why you show greediness. They abandon you. They are not upset at you. They are disappointed with you. So just reconcile with them. Those that you have deceived, if you can attend to them, try to honor what you promised to them. Because their spirits are crying. Those who are not there, try to seek for elders, for spiritualists around you, for spiritualists that you can trust, to try and call upon their spirit, make a reconciliation. Why is your life have turned from good to bad, from up to down? Because of your own behavior. Because of how you are doing things. You are not doing things correctly. You go, they do the work, you don't finish, you run away. They help you, you owe them money. No, when I get the money, I'm paying. When you get the money, you change. Those are the causes of your problems. Those are the causes of your troubles. Those are the reasons why you find yourself in a situation where you are crying today. We are still progressing. We go on number 7, which is parent covenant over you, over your pet. There are some couple who are having challenges in conceiving. They go to see different people, prophets, sangomas, healers, apostles, pastors, religious leaders, spiritual leaders. It's very normal as people, you go to them to seek for assistance. These people, they commit, they pray, they do rituals. They didn't force you. You make promises. If I give birth, if I have a son, if I have a daughter, if I have children, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. The spirit are listening. You make commitment even to the ancestors, they are listening. When you have the child, you only think about your own joy now. Now you become with too much responsibility. The child needs milk, needs pampers. You don't even have time to go and thank the one that assisted you where yourself you were limited. One finger will never wash one face. We need a 5 finger to wash the face. So your parents, they went and make a covenant. When you are born, they neglect that covenant. You become a victim. The human life is short. The spirit life is eternal. So don't think if you make a covenant when you are 10 years old, that covenant with the spirit won't work when you are 50. It works. The spirit, you are the one who become 50. They are still spirit. So try to look into your life. Try to look to the point that I'm pointing. You as a parent, why is your children's lives that don't go well? You know what you did before you conceived them. You know what you went to do. You know where you entered. It's time to fix. You are start catching witches where they are not witches because you are trying to be hypocrite with what you did and it's affecting your family. is affecting your marriage, is affecting your children's life, is affecting your own life. If you can't repay it to the person you did, consult those around you. Consult the spiritual masters. Consult the pastors, the sangomas, the prophet. Depend on where you are, who can assist. People have different gifts. They're going to guide you to come out of these situations. Because you're going to be changing, seeking for help. Once you identify yourself with the point that I'm making, it's very important that you use somebody who understands them and who understands how to deal with them. I'm going to still come back and explain each situation based on your questions. I won't explain all, but if you identify yourself with one of the subjects here, then you point it, you ask a question in a comment. When I'm coming with the second teaching, I'm going to provide answers to that. And then we say, you are victim of a curse. It can be from a rival, from somebody that you have deceived. That is point number 8. Number 7, I say, is a pagan covenant with a spirit before your birth. So now we are talking about you are a victim of a curse from a rival or somebody that you have disappointed. In life, people will make wrong choices. We make mistakes. We are human. Even myself, I'm not immune to that. I never claim to you that I'm holy. I have my weaknesses as well as human. I've got the human limitation as well. I've got needs, I've got desires. So in life, people will make mistakes. People sometimes will take wrong decisions. Sometimes they are not mistakes. It's part of our destiny. It depends on who you are, what is your purpose. You come across somebody that you like. It be a man or a female. He or she's having someone else's real life. Either them be married or not. You engage in a relationship, you are a woman, you meet a married man. You are a married man, you meet a married woman. You are a single man, you meet a married man, or vice versa. Anyway, you meet somebody in a commitment. And their partner, they find out that you are going out with their partners. Their spouse found out that you are going out with the other one. The other spouse. You have no idea what they can do. Some, they can curse you. They can do things to push you away. I'm a spiritualist. I know what people are telling me when they come to seek help for me. I know what people can do to the one who's cheating with their partners. I know. So when they curse you those curses, which step are you taking to solve? Nothing. You think you are the gang. You think you are the beautiful one. Yes. She feel it. I take a man. Yes, he feel it. I take the woman. Huh? For that short period, you think you are glorious. What they've done to you, you have no idea. So it becomes very important that you understand some of your blockage might be based on your reckless sexual or affectional or love life in the past. Some you've been a prostitute. You steal somebody money and run away with it. You steal a man things in the hotel and run away with them. Some, you a man, you have taken a prostitute and then you refuse to pay them. These people, they go, they are crying. These people, they go, they are talking. These people have cursed you. Have you an idea of what it can do to your life? Why is your life crumbling, falling, breaking, shutting down? Why is darkness all over around you? Be careful. Use your job to go and lie to people. You borrow money you don't want to pay. You crook people. Is your job to go and disappoint people, mislead people? These people who are going to cry, they are cursing you. That's why your life is not working. You are making money, you do nothing with it. You can't even enjoy it. You even ask yourself, what I'm doing with money. How many people have deceived? How many people have you disappointed? Do you know all those people who are there spiritually? It's not because you are ignoring who you are, you think all of us are ignoring who you are. You eat a money, a man out of me. I'm going to correct you. I never hide this shy from it. You come and deceive me, I'm going to hit you harder. Very, very harder. Because I'm not a deceiver. So if you come and deceive somebody at my caliber, do you have an idea what they can do in your life? Maybe you've lost your job, you don't understand. You start losing children, you don't understand. You've lost your partner, you don't understand. Your relationship getting broken, you become unstable. Everything just falls down. You find yourself in debt. You don't understand. It's what you did in the past. It's your behavior that have led you to this place. Because this world is not innocent. It's not working according to your thinking, to your capacity of thinking. This world is not according to your faith, your will, or your choices. Are you with me? Today we're talking, my dear. We are having now our 9th point, which is confusion between religion, culture, and spiritual identity. That is a very main point that is going to need me to teach a full teaching one day. If you guys going to request, of course. My teaching will be based on your request. The confusion that many people have is this. People confuse religion and spirituality. Religion is not spirituality. Religion is a man-made things which they copy the spiritual teaching, the spiritual reality, and illustrate it for human understanding so that they are able to control them. Religion is a man-made thing. Not even the ascended master that have been, not even the ascended master which religion have been created after them or their names have been religious themselves. They've been spiritualists. I have nothing wrong with religion. As long as you are comfortable in religion, I have no problem. You can still be a religious and spiritual person. That is very true. There is no confusion in between. On our side, of course, a spiritualist, I can still be a spiritualist and a religious person. It's my choice. I choose not to be a religious because I'm interfaith. I'm dealing with people of various religions. But you can still be a religious, you can still be a Hindu, you can still be a Muslim, you can still be a Christian, you can still be a Buddhist, you can still be whatever religion it is, and being a spiritual person. Because our Creator is spiritual. Our Creator is not human. The Creator is spiritual. You only see Him and feel Him when you're in the spiritual dimension through His creatures. So the confusion between culture and tradition is also very important. Any individual person who don't know their culture and tradition, they are lost souls. The culture and tradition enable the connection between our souls and our spirit. Our soul form part of our culture. Our culture got our souls inside. That's why when you go against the culture, you get some consequences. And that soul associates the spirit when the tradition of the culture become. The spirit in between them and the soul, when they combine, they create the spiritual power that you need in your culture. That's why they say these Africans, they've got witchcraft, they've got strong witchcraft in that combination. There will be time I'm going to teach about that. You're going to grow to the spiritual dimensions. So now, if you have a confusion between what is religion, what is culture, and what is tradition, and you think they're in conflict, you can't achieve spirituality awakening. You can't be awakened. The knowledge you get in religion, what you inherited in culture, and what you experience in tradition, combine. They are part of your spiritual mission and purpose. You've been placed there for a purpose and a mission. Are you with me? So stop having this kind of confusion. You need to observe and respect your culture. That is your identity. As a human in this, that culture is your cover. Who you are is also part of your culture. Your tradition is part of your identity. But what you do traditionally, you identifying exactly what you are. What the king and the slave they are doing is not the same. And lastly, you got the situation of the dark cloud, nocturnal or spiritual husband or wife. The dark cloud basically is a combination of the 9 points that I've raised, which I'll call the free spiritual reading, the ignorance of your spirituality, the disconnection with your ancestors, the negligence of message, dreams, and visions, the fear of embracing your callings and gifts, the unfinished spiritual work that you've been doing, the parent covenant before you become born with the spirit, you've been a victim of a curse from the rival or from these people that you have deceived, the confusion between religion, culture, and tradition, and lastly, not leastly, then is the dark cloud and the presence of a nocturnal wife or husband. And the dark cloud combine all this. The nocturnal husband or spirit is the one who puts you in a bondage to preclude you from having a good partner that you can get along, being successful in other areas in order to alienate you. So I wanted today, you and I, to share in this teaching the 10 points that I put down for you in order for you to try and identify yourself through this. If, as you're watching this, you identify yourself in either of these points, please feel free. Comment, ask for more details, ask for more cheating. I will still come back in the second part with the cheating. From your comment, from your request, then I'm going to only teach on based on the question that I'm going to receive. If there's no question, I'm going to go to another topic. That means all of you understand it. Those who want to contact me, feel free. Is your humble servant, Molope Kyungu Katapena, known as Master Roger. You are welcome to contact me at +27 81 729 35 8855 +27 81 729 3855. Alternatively, you can still email us at ancientspiritualism@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, to share, and comment. Have a blessed evening. Have a blessed day, depending on the time that you're watching me. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Amen.